Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Yasodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yasodanandana Vraja Janarandana Yasodanandana Vraja Janarandana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Vishubha Paramahamsa Bhagavata Kacharya Ashotara Sata Sri Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Esi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jaya Vishubha Paramahamsa Bhagavata Kacharya Ashotara Sata Sri Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavana Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Madan Mohan Ki Jai. Sri Sri Gaunitai Ki Jai. Sri Sri Jagannath Subhadra Baladev Ki Jai. Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the Sambhavatis. All glories to the Sambhavatis. All glories to the Sambhavatis. All glories to Sri Guru, Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasabhutade. Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prasharine. Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, 4th Skanda, 6th chapter, entitled Brahma Satisfies Lord Shiva. Shloka number 26 and 27. Shloka 26 doesn't have any purport. I shall read it. Yayos tatsnana vibrasta nava kunkama pinjaram vitrusho pivantyam bha payayanto gaja gaji. Yayoho, that's it means, in both of which rivers, that's Nana, by the bathing of them, that is, the damsels of the heavenly planets, Vibrashta, fallen off, Nava, fresh, Kumkuma, with kumkum powder, Pinjaram, yellow, Vitrushaha, not being thirsty, happy, even, Pibanti, drink, Ambaha, the water, Payayantaha, causing to drink, Gajaha, the elephants, Gajihi, the female elephants. Translation: after the damsels of the heavenly planets bathe in the water, it becomes yellowish and fragrant due to the kumkum from their bodies. Thus the elephants come to bathe there with their wives, the she-elephants, and they also drink the water, although they are not thirsty. Please repeat. After the damsels of the heavenly planets bathe in the water, it becomes yellowish and fragrant due to the kumkum from their bodies. Thus the elephants come to bathe there with their wives, the she-elephants, and they also drink the water, although they are not thirsty. Sloka number 27. Tarahema Maharatna Vimanat Satasankulam Jushtam Punyajana Stribihi Yathakam Satadidghanam. Tarahema Maharatna Vimana Satasankulam Jushtam Punyajana Stribihi Yathakam Satadidghanam. Tarahema Maharatna Vimana Satasankulam Jushtam Punyajana Stribihi Yathakam Satadidghanam. Vaishnavis. Tarahema, of pearls and gold. Maharatna, valuable jewels. Vimana, of airplanes. Sata, with hundreds. Sankulam, crowded. Jushtam, occupied, enjoyed. Punyajanas Trivihi, by the wives of the Yakshas. Yata, as come the sky. Sattadid Ghanam, with the lightning and the clouds. Translation: the airplanes of the heavenly denizens are bedecked with pearls, gold, and many valuable jewels. The heavenly denizens are compared to clouds in the sky, decorated with occasional flashes of electric lightning. Sri Sri Gaur Nitai ki jai. Sri Sri Radha Madan Mohan ki jai. Sri Sri Jagannath Subhadra Baladev ki jai. Please repeat. The airplanes of the heavenly denizens are bedecked with pearls, gold, and many valuable jewels. The heavenly denizens are compared to clouds in the sky, decorated with occasional flashes of electric lightning. Purport by Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The airplanes described in this verse are different from the airplanes of which we have experience. In the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and all the Vedic literatures, there are many descriptions of vimanas, which means airplanes. On different planets, there are different kinds of airplanes. On this gross planet Earth, there are airplanes run by machines, but on other planets, the airplanes are run not by machine, but by mantric hymns. They are also used specially for enjoyment by the denizens of the heavenly planets, so that they can go from one planet to another. On other planets, which are called Siddhalokas, the denizens can travel from one planet to another without airplanes. The beautiful airplanes from the heavenly planets are compared here to the sky because they fly in the sky. The passengers are compared to the clouds. The beautiful damsels, the wives of the denizens of the heavenly planets, are compared to lightning. In summation, the airplanes with their passengers, which came from higher planets to Kailash, were very pleasant to look at. Om Jnana Timurandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. So here in this chapter, we are seeing the description of the travel of Lord Brahma along with other demigods who had participated in the Daksha Yajna. They are traveling on their way to Lord Shiva's abode named Kailash. The occasion is after the Daksha Yajna had been spoiled by the servants of Lord Shiva, and after Sati had given up her body, Lord Shiva became exceedingly angry and destroyed the Daksha Yajna. At that time, all the demigods were on the side of Daksha. They became very much concerned, annoyed, and they approached Lord Brahma for safety. And Lord Brahma told them that if you go to Lord Shiva and bow down to him and beg for forgiveness. Then I'm sure that Lord Shiva will be forgiving, and your situation will become safe. Otherwise, your situation now is very dangerous. This is the only solution. So you come with me, and we'll go to Lord Shiva's abode and bow down to Lord Shiva there in full obedience and sincerity of heart. You must be very sincere, because actually you are at fault. You could not control Daksha. You could not do anything to save the situation. Lord Shiva has been insulted. Sati also has been insulted, and you didn't do anything. So now you have to go and beg forgiveness. So they are all of them on the way to Lord Shiva's abode, and the description of this Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the few slokas, are describing the beauty of the places surrounding Lord Shiva's abode. It is earlier described that there are two rivers, Nanda and Alakananda, and there the denizens of heavens are coming, and they are taking baths in these holy rivers that are in touch with the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. These rivers are full of fragrance. They are called, the forest is adjoining these two rivers, known as Saugandhika, because of the abundance of lotus flowers. So we can just appreciate that these surroundings are extremely beautiful. Such beauty that we have no experience here in this Earth planet, although we have a little experience of some particular beautiful spots, and we like to go there during holidays. Some people who are well-to-do, they go to Switzerland to go and appreciate the beauty of the place. Even though the Himalayas here in India are certainly as much beautiful, but they like to travel anyway. They take their wives and other family members and go to Switzerland, Sweden, Austria. These are beautiful spots, and they just enjoy the place. So for the sake of sense enjoyment, they go and visit these places. Natural beauty are, for those who are materialistic, they think that these beautiful spots are enjoyable, and this is how they can maybe forget their worldly worries, day-to-day life. So they go there, spend 1 week or so, and they come back to their working place to resume again their materialistic living, hard work, day and night working. So here something somewhat similar. The heavenly denizens are visiting also this abode of Lord Shiva, and they enjoy the place, take baths in the river, wife and husbands, and then here also even the elephants are also coming, because they feel that the water is very special, full of fragrance, and the color of the kumkum of the wife has been scattered in the water, and it has made the water very attractive for these elephants. So elephants and other animals, they all participate in this enjoying mood. So this is how the beauty of the natural world is being appreciated, either on this Earth planet or even in the heavenly planets. The same desire for sense enjoyment, being attracted by the natural beauty, that is also prominent. But Lord Brahma, the denizens of this, the demigods of the Daksha Yajna, they are seeing this, and but they are objective is different. The objective is to beg forgiveness from Lord Shiva. But on the way to Lord Shiva, they are seeing all this and they are very much surprised how beautiful it is. We know from Shastra that the beauty of the world increases as we go up in the atmosphere. The hellish planets are not beautiful. They are not meant for that, not meant for sense enjoyment. It is meant for punishment. So there you will have all types of paraphernalia for punishing the impious people, not for enjoying the place. Beauty is increasing gradually, and the Earth planet is sometimes beautiful, sometimes not beautiful. There are so many natural calamities that is also not enjoyable. But when we go higher in the universe, then there are planets which are much more beautiful. And certainly as we go to the topmost planet, Brahmaloka, then that is the most beautiful and attractive planet, but that is meant for tapasya, not for sense enjoyment. And going higher, then the abode of Lord Shiva is there, above Lord Brahma. Lord Shiva is a superior entity, even higher than Lord Brahma. So the abode is described in these slokas. And one may wonder, where is it situated? Because here also, there are some who are going on pilgrimage to Lord Shiva's abode, Kailash. They go to mountains and they finally reach Kailash and the Sarovar. So they also feel that it is very beautiful, it is very exceptional. Our Vaishnavacharyas in our Sampradaya have not visited, as far as I know, even Lord Nityananda, Advaita Prabhu, they also went on a pilgrimage earlier, but there is no description that they have gone to Kailash. And our acharyas, we don't have any such information that they have gone to Kailash. The only a yatra of anyway, some Prabhupada disciples went there more recently, Indradyumna Swami. So one may wonder whether these descriptions are actually from this Kailash, situated now in the Chinese territory. But the demigods have three abodes. That's what I was hearing from Achyutananda Swami. They have the principal abode in heaven, or higher than heaven. Lord Shiva is even higher than that. And they have an abode here on this Earth planet, in the Himalayas. And they also dwell in the body. So that is also another abode for them. They are also looking after the bodily departments of the conditioned souls. So these are the three different types of abode. But here, the description is made of the highest abode of Lord Shiva, which is unheard and nobody has gone there to see. But the denizens of heaven, they go there just like here we go to Goa, enjoy the beach, and so on. But this is not the correct attitude. When we go to higher and higher lokas, one should become more and more detached. One should develop the sense of vairagya instead of the sense of enjoyment. so that eventually we may approach the gates of Vaikuntha with a full detachment and vairagya. So sometimes we remember that Srila Prabhupada had some conversations regarding these natural beauties, beautiful spots. At one time, during morning walk, Prabhupada used to choose some nearby place, just like here in Hyderabad. He used to go to this public garden because that's a natural beauty can be experienced there. But what is the object of visiting such places? That Srila Prabhupada had his own idea. We were just following him or other disciples following Prabhupada on the particular beautiful spots. They have some different mental ideas. One disciple asked from Srila Prabhupada, "Oh, Prabhupada, oh, this is so beautiful, see on the ocean, beach, and the sun is rising on the horizon above the sea water, and everything becomes so nicely illuminated, and we feel the heat of the sun now dissipating the morning coolness, so everything looks so attractive and beautiful." So like that, he was appreciating the natural beauty of the sunrise over the ocean horizon. And Srila Prabhupada was in a different mood. And he told him in a grave manner, if you appreciate so much this sunrise on the ocean, you can come here life after life. Krishna will give you opportunity, take birth again and again to appreciate the sunrise. That is not a problem. That if you keep that mentality, this is another occasion. Similarly also, the disciples accompanying Srila Prabhupada in the morning walk and appreciating the natural beauty. So one disciple then had some doubt. He said that, "Prabhupada, you are taking us to such a natural, beautiful spot, but we are trying to remain Krishna conscious. So why you are taking us to such beautiful spots that may divert our attention to other things?" Then Prabhupada had a different teaching there at that time. He told his disciple that, why you cannot remember Krishna now? You see, the sun is there. Lord Krishna says, the sun and the moon are my two eyes. And the ocean, you understand, that is the middle part of the Lord's universal form. The trees are his hair, bodily hair. The plants and flowers, everything is connected to the universal form of the Lord. Why don't you remember that? Instead of being just outwardly, externally conscious of this so-called beauty, everything is connected to Krishna. You remember Krishna. That is why we are coming to this place. It's so that easily you can remember Krishna by seeing this beautiful natural spot. Otherwise, going in the city, the cars and big tall buildings, it is more difficult to remember Krishna. But the atmosphere of the village or the atmosphere of the natural parks and ocean, that is a place where we can remember Krishna very easily. So natural beauty should be understood in that manner. And in the Bhagavad Gita, after Lord Krishna describes the different aspects of his transcendental body, he is telling very clearly that yad yad vibhutimat sattvam, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam eva tattadeva vagachatvam mama tejansa sambhavam. That know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. The purpose says that any glorious or beautiful existence should be understood to be a fragmental manifestation of Krishna's opulence, whether it be in the spiritual or material world. Anything extraordinarily opulent should be considered to represent Krishna's opulence. In this way, Krishna is helping us to remember him at every moment. But in the city, we have created an artificial world, which is meant to divert our attention away from Krishna. Therefore, it is better to stay in the natural countryside. Prabhupada established farm communities so that our mind can be settled in the lap of Krishna. And we can remember easily, glorify Krishna by this natural life. Otherwise, here the city is just the opposite. But still, we can remember the Supreme Lord Krishna, because everything that is opulent in any manner, any material or spiritual splendor, is but a spark of Krishna's splendor. Even material objects created by the so-called advancement of science, that is also because of Krishna's intelligence. Prabhupada used to tell his PhD that Bhakti Damodar Swami, that the Nobel Prize is given to many great scientists, but actually Nobel Prize should be given to Krishna himself. Why they are forgetting? The scientist's brain is not his own creation. His imagination is the way he is thinking, feeling, willing, acting. That is only out of Lord Krishna's potency. By Lord Krishna's will, everything is being undertaken by all the living entities. Either this Jiva Tattva or the Prakriti behaving, that is only by Krishna's will, not by any chance factor or by the powerful brain of human beings independently. So that is what Srila Prabhupada's message is, has to be understood very clearly. Nobody can build anything independently, any opulent or any beautiful thing. Nobody can do that independently of Krishna's will. So that should be clearly understood. One very interesting, when we were attending the first Congress for the Synthesis of Science and Religion in Bombay in 1986. Many Nobel laureates, maybe great scientists, had been invited, and they were given all the welcome by Bhakti Damodar Swami and his associates in the Bhaktivedanta Institute under the direction of Srila Prabhupada. Of course, Prabhupada's instruction was being fulfilled by his disciple in this way, organizing World Congress. So this scientist has come. One of them, George Wald, he was a biologist. And he was very intelligent, very thoughtful. I remember his lecture. The hall was full. It was in Bombay, at least minimum 1,000 or more than that. It was listened. His lecture was very thoughtful, and everybody was listening with pin drop silence. And he was describing his life as a scientist, that what he did after graduating from college education and so on, then he went into the field of research. And he started to investigate the bodies, how the insects are living. Small insects, they may be very insignificant, just like ants and other small insects. So he is such a big scientist, but he spent many years of his life trying to study these small insects. So he was narrating his life like that. But that he took a different course. And that was very interesting. Spent so much time analyzing the small ants and other small insects, especially he was telling about the organ of vision. When it came to study the organ of vision of these insects, then although he is such an intelligent scientist, but that blew his mind. He could not understand how these insects are seeing, how they are able to observe the outside world very nicely. We have a big body, we have big eyes. Elephants out there, they have big eyes. Insects have very small body, small eye. And this eye apparatus, not just the eye itself, but all the nerve connections within the body and up to the brain and everything, so complicated that he could not go to the end of the study. He gave up. He said, this is too much for me. He could not actually, he came to the conclusion that because they are all brainwashed by Darwin's theory, that everything is coming out of chance, evolution. But now George was speaking to the very high assembly of scientists from all over the world. His conclusion was that even if you take a very insignificant creature of this planet, the most insignificant, but I'm a witness that the organization of such bodies, such living entities, is not possible by a chance combination of material elements, which is the basic theory of all the materialistic scientists. He came to that conclusion very strongly, with a proof in hand. He devoted his life for that study, and he came to a different conclusion. That was not expected at the beginning, but his conclusion was very firm and fixed up, and that was his lecture was so. Everybody was so much surprised that such a Nobel Prize came to that conclusion. So it was one of the highlights of the Congress. So we understand from this Yad Yad Vibhuti Mat Sattvam that anything that is especially wonderful, beautiful, we should remember, we should never forget, this is a small portion of Krishna's energy. Lord Krishna has multi-energies. Parasya Shaktir Vividhava Suyate. And some of these energies, material energy and the jiva energy, and this spiritual energy in the spiritual sky, that is a different level. That is purely spiritual. But even if you consider in the material world, Krishna's energies are making everything possible. He remains in the background. He's not to be seen. Just like these Russian astronauts, they went too high in the sky. So when they came back to Russia, the people there welcoming, and they asked them that it is said that God is in the sky. So you have gone there. Did you see God? So the astronauts, they say, no, we have not seen God. No. So God does not exist. That is the conclusion. So foolish. They are not qualified to see God. God is acting very mysteriously. All his energies are active under his command, and nobody can understand how it is being done, activated. But we understand only through Shastra that everything that is beautiful, including this Kailash. Here the beauty of Kailash is attracting the denizens of heavens, along with the women and men. They go there for sense enjoyment. They forget also that this is a display of Lord Krishna's energy. They should go there, if at all they want to go there, they should go there for glorifying Lord Krishna, not for any other purpose. But they are also under the spell of forgetfulness. So from top to bottom, everybody is forgetful of the Lord. But by going through these pages of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, we should not come to that sense of forgetfulness. It is meant to make us remember that everything that exists in this world, including Shivaloka, Kailash, is only meant for the glorification of Lord Krishna, not for any other purpose. Airplanes, Prabhupada makes a note about the airplanes. Airplanes are described in the Ramayana because after winning the battle over Ravana, then Lord Ramachandra took all his associates by airplane to Ayodhya. So even at the time of Ramayana, that is Treta Yuga, these airplanes were there. So it is not a new invention. But the difference, as Prabhupada says, is that the airplanes of earlier ages were run by mantra and not by ordinary engine. Just as we see now today, the engine is running and the plane is moving. Sometimes it is not safe that the airplane is going to crash, and then many people are dying, being killed in the crash land. So the planes that we see today are not safe. But see, the small mosquitoes and small flies, they're also flying. No? They are themselves airplanes. They can fly into the air, and they don't have accidents of this type. They are so small, and supposedly they don't have any intelligence, but at least they don't have air crash like human beings. So we should be very humble in our attempts for scientific progress. We should know that every type of scientific development will be bound to recoil, will be bound to have negative consequences. We make airplanes, but the airplane is crashing or accident. So we should appreciate Lord Krishna's creation. He created mosquitoes who also can fly without any accident. Then sometimes Prabhupada going by airplane, and somebody is asking questions. Swamiji, you are sannyasi, you are renounced, so why you are going by airplane? No, if you want to go to some other place, you could go by ship, like that. Why you are utilizing airplanes Now, sannyasis are not supposed to do that. So Prabhupada is telling that, yes, we are using airplanes also. That will be for the benefit of those who have made this airplane. Manufacturer, the proprietor of the airplane will be benefited. This is how Prabhupada is actually benefiting everyone. All those who are preaching Krishna consciousness, they can utilize everything. And in this way, giving spiritual benefit to those who are manufacture these objects of convenience. So that was Prabhupada's answer. So otherwise, we have nothing to do with the airplanes. Any other questions or comments? Hare Krishna. Yes, yes, certainly. That's why sometimes there is accident that will, that is the consequence of their sinful activities. They have to meet accidents and they are killed by their own inventions. Like you may, in the laboratory, you may manufacture a robot. The robot, you make him very powerful, but the robot will turn against the inventor and may kill the inventor. So whatever we do, which is not in Krishna consciousness, certainly has negative consequences. And we have to pay the high price of our lives, life after life, until we come to our senses of Krishna consciousness. Krishna should be glorified at every step. We should not have any idea of sense enjoyment. So that is the idea. Any other questions? Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.